Kokomi is getting a rerun in Genshin version 3.0, and with the addition of all the new characters and the new Dendro element in Sumeru, lots of people are wondering if Kokomi is still worth pulling. I'm Samizard, and I'm going to take you guys through a Kokomi guide to help you decide if she's worth your precious primogems. So how does Kokomi stack up to the other healers in the game? She is debatably the best healer in the game. There are other units that provide buffs and shielding alongside their healing, which isn't something that Kokomi has in her native kit, but her raw healing abilities are borderline untouchable. And by using the Tenacity of the Millilith artifact set, she does actually gain bonus to a buff that she can provide to the team even while off-field through her elemental skill. Through her burst, she also gains access to a legitimate damage dealing phase, which allows her to heal allies while they are protected off-field. Like how Barbara can heal with her E, but it actually deals good damage. She's like Barbara on steroids. Now there are other healers who deal more damage while healing, like a well-built Chi-Chi or Jean, or Bennett with Mist Splitter if you're an absolute psychopath. But given that her healing in general outperforms those units, and she can heal off-field units, unlike Bennett, it's really quite a nice bonus to be able to dish out exceptional healing alongside decent damage. So what roles can Kokomi fill? Well, ultimately, healing is her best role and should be your priority if you're using Kokomi on really any team. However, because of the versatility that her elemental skill brings with its excellent Hydro application, she can fill a few other roles as well. The damage from her elemental skill scales with her attack, and in most situations, you're going to be prioritizing her HP to utilize her healing to the maximum. But you can change your build a little bit if you want that jellyfish to do extra damage off field. Either way, its Hydro application is exceptional. The jellyfish created by her elemental skill stays on the field for 12 seconds and stays active even when she's off field, making her one of the best off field Hydro applicators. The only comparable Hydro application skill is Mona's E, which in comparison only lasts for 8 seconds. 33% more time with Hydro application off-field is big stonks. This ultimately makes her one of the best off-field elemental enablers in the entire game. Now through the Clam artifact set and some very specific stats and substats, you can run a DPS Kokomi. You folks are a different breed. You know who you are. We're not judging. In fact, we're kind of applauding. She's a top tier pick for Vaporize teams and Freeze teams, but with the addition of the Dendro reactions in Sumeru, she can also fit in some other teams where she previously may not have been great, particularly alongside Electro users, as the reactions between Hydro, Dendro, and Electro all work very, very well together. So is Kokomi easy to build? Yeah, actually, she's extremely easy to build. Because all of her healing scales with HP, she makes use of a lot of typically unusable artifacts. Her healing scales with HP, as does the damage from her burst. This means you can make use of all those HP percent sands, goblets, and even circlets that you haven't been using while trying to pull other items that are typically going to be better for most characters. Now her best in slot artifact set is the 4-piece Tenacity of the Millilith, but she can easily be ran with 2-piece Tenacity to give you the boost to your HP, which will help your overall healing, plus something like a 2-piece Maiden Beloved, which a lot of players tend to have spare pieces for that set, or even a 2-piece Clam, just to stack the HP percent with the healing bonus. And weapon selection for Kokomi couldn't make your life any easier. Her best weapon is her 5-star signature Gacha weapon. However, the 3-star Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers is actually a fantastic pick, and by far her second best weapon option, as it provides an HP percent substat and a passive that buffs the ally that you switch to. So how easy is Kokomi to ascend? It's a little bit mixed, mostly dependent on whether or not you have experience farming for her materials already or not. She uses Sango Pearls and Spectre Drops as her mats from nature and general enemies, both of which can be a pain to farm if you've not farmed them before. If you already have a decent amount of these materials from general farming, then you're in luck because her boss materials come from the Hydro Hypostasis, which is neither particularly difficult or time-consuming to fight. And because she also needs hydro crystals, your life will be made easier as you'll be getting both of the necessary boss mats and elemental crystals for the price of one withdrawal from the hydro hypostasis. Just be sure to build a portable waypoint because the worst part of fighting the hydro hypostasis is getting to it in the first place. With what feels like a recent influx in the amount of characters who require boss materials from one boss and then crystals from a different boss, it's just really convenient having one boss give you the materials and the crystals that you need for your character that you're trying to build and ascend. Now, is Kokomi worth constellations? No, not really, unless you're a Coco simp, and there's nothing wrong with that. Most of the value that comes from Kokomi's constellations come by way of additional healing and additional damage to her burst, none of which is particularly necessary in most instances. So that leads us to the final question. Is Kokomi worth pulling? My opinion, yes, she is still worth pulling here in 2022. Because she plays nice with Dendro and is still a perfect fit for classic freeze and vaporize teams, you'll be hard-pressed to find a healer more worthy of your investment. It's also worth noting that speculative leaks and data mining show no info on new healers being added to the game anytime soon, so the competition is still pretty slim. Now is the best time to add Genshin's best healer to your team. So really all I want to know at this point is, do you plan on pulling for Kokomi in her upcoming banner in 3.0? Was this guide helpful to you? Did it help you make a decision one way or another? Leave a comment down below, let me know. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, thumbs up gang, where you at? Subscribe for more, watch our streams right here on YouTube. We'll see you around. Love the games, love yourself, and I love you. Bye! Classic Genshin, like fade to black and white with the epic superhero pose. Dude just got high under a tree, fought a mushroom bird, and then wrote about it in a book. I would buy the book. I'd buy the book.